Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Random Episode. This is the podcast where we watch a random episode of a TV show from a random series that neither of us have watched before. I'm Varun.
And I'm Christie.
As always, we'd like to give credit for that great intro song to our friend Large Jesus. So this week, we are talking about the show 21 Jump Street, Season 1, Episode 8 or 7? IMDb and Peacock were deferred on this one, but this was the episode Bad Influence. It aired May 24th, 1987 on Fox. So, Christy, what did you know about this show before watching it?
I honestly don't think I even knew this was a show. So I had heard of the movie that was, I guess, the remake that was made a few years ago. I don't even know how long this was, with Channing Tatum, right? So I guess I had
Jonah Hill.
And Jonah Hill. Okay, yes, thank you. So I knew that existed, and I think I had never saw that movie, so I still haven't seen it. But I think I knew that the movie was about like cops who pretend to be in high school. So I had some kind of context for that. But I literally did not even realize this was a show from the 80s until we started doing some research and pulled it up. So I was kind of blind on this one. What about you?
Very similar. I slightly knew only because of Johnny Depp. I knew that Johnny Depp was associated with this show. They did this a long time ago. And I think it very well may have been his jumping off point.
That would track,
his career.
Yeah.
But same. Watched the movie.
Did you watch the movie?
I did watch the movie. Okay. Did not watch the second one because there's a sequel.
There's a sequel too. I'm so out of pop culture right now.
I don't even know if this is still pop culture.
I don't know.
But the movie is a comedy, complete comedy.
Oh, okay.
But it is also about cops that become embedded in a high school. But while this show was much more serious.
Yes, this was not a comedy.
No, there was some comedic.
Sure.
Parts to it,
it's 80s.
But it was supposed to be a drama.
Yeah.
But yeah, the movie, complete comedy. Obviously, when you got Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill in the same room.
Okay, that checks out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a show that takes place in a high school.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, I feel like we have to talk about this, that, we've been friends since high school.
Seriously, we are high school friends. This high school setting is just like perfect for us, I feel.
So did seeing this show take you back to high school?
Well, I mean, no, because it was such an unrealistic high school setting, which I guess we'll get into, and the storylines that were allegedly happening in this high school maybe didn't feel relevant to our high school experience. But yeah, I mean, I love most shows and movies that are set in high school. Maybe it's the nostalgia. I don't know. But I mean, it takes us back.
Yeah, took me back. Not really.
No. I don't think we had the same type of experience. I mean, we were like in a pretty classic, just suburban, I don't know, like upper middle class neighborhood high school situation. Pretty standard.
Though if we're going to do the math, Christy,
Uh-oh.
I believe that this show took place, this high school setting would have been closer to when we were in high school than now.
No, don't say that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Don't say that, please. That's actually terrifying because I work in school, so I was also a high school teacher. So in my head, I'm like, yeah, school now is just like when we were in high school. But no, you're right. It was a long time ago.
A closer depiction, well, time-wise, to what we went through
than what it's like now. Okay. Wow. Well, I just feel like what we keep doing on all of these watches is dating ourselves and making us feel really, really old, which, that's what happens. That's fine.
Don't worry, we will watch some newer shows, more recent,
that will make us feel
better about ourselves and less old.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so let's get into this episode. So there were pretty much two main storylines going here. I think let's focus on the first one, the big one.
Yeah.
Which was led by, our two police officers, Judy and Harry.
Can we just real quick, they're police officers, right? They're not actually high school students. It took me a long time. I know that's the premise, but I still couldn't accept that fact. That's right?
That's right. And I think same. It took me a while to get into it, that making sure, confirming that these are police officers, full-time,
yeah.
This is their career, that are in high school, and not that these were high schoolers that were part of a program with the police where they were, crime fighting high school students.
That's what I thought at first, because again, I mean, I guess it's the premise of the show is they look young. Also in television, like it's always 35-year-olds playing high schoolers anyway. Yeah. So like, what do they even look like doesn't really matter. But that's what I thought at first when they were meeting up in the precinct, or I don't know where they were, the police station, whatever. And they were talking about their assignments. And I just kept wondering, are these actual children? Are these teenagers? And I think by the end of the episode, it felt more clear to me, but just the premise confused me.
Yeah, we have four police officers that are in this program.
Yeah.
Tom, who's Johnny Depp, I believe it. He could pass as a high school student to me.
Sure, yeah.
Harry, he could pass as a high school student to me too.
Yeah.
And same as Judy. But Doug, no way. He looked way too old. He was the one who was partnered with Tom.
With Tom, yeah.
As they're chasing down the high school boys.
I don't know. But again, in television, it's always like these 30-year-olds playing them. So I don't know. To me, it could have gone either way.
And let's keep going. I have a lot of questions about this program.
I have so many questions about the program too. Okay, go ahead.
Do you think that the administration and the teachers knew that there were police officers embedded in their schools acting as students?
I mean, they have to be knowledgeable or be playing along, because you can't just enroll in a school, right? Like you have to go through the registration process. You have to prove your identity, prove like your birth certificate. So in order to enroll in a school, you have to prove who you are and like have a parent. So either the cops are really good at faking their own identities and lying to a public school system, or the school has to be in on it. But is crime such a huge deal in this high school that they need this program? That's another question I have. Was the admin like, yes, we have all these crime rings, like please bring in these cops, like pretending to be high school kids? Is that what happened?
It must be. And I can imagine a scenario where this is the principal pleading with the police saying, I need help with this high school. We got so much crime. Though, I mean, in the episode that we saw, season 1, there was like petty crime going on.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that bad, but okay.
It seems like a very well-to-do.
Yes, they are all wealthy. Body. Anyway, go ahead.
And so I can see that where the principal is in on it, and it's being the 80s, can fudge or accept fudged records.
Yeah.
But the teachers have to grade these kids. I mean, they're going to class and they're talking about taking these tests. So are they also studying and taking the tests? And do they get a high school diploma at the end of this program?
Those are great questions that I don't know why I hadn't thought about. I was thinking about other things, like how has nobody figured out who these people are, right? Because throughout the episode, they're like busting people. They're pulling out their badges and busting people on the street. So how is there nobody walking by being, oh, that's so-and-so from my history class? Like, how has nobody ever busted these people who are just out there identifying themselves like on the streets all the time?
Yeah. I also want to know, was this based off an actual thing that happened in the 80s? Like, did this actually happen? Where there's an actual program?
I looked it up.
And?
This is based on a real program.
Oh. Thank you, Christie. Answer my question.
This is
I
a
can't
real
believe
thing.
that.
Okay,
I can't believe that.
I don't think it was common, but from what I read, there was one instance of this somewhere in California. This was like a real program that the show was based off of.
Was it for a one-time sting, or was it?
I think it was like this.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure they did a better job because, again, like this is so obvious that these people are not actual high school students. I don't know. Also, there's the issue of these alleged high school students, but actually adults are in the locker room with these children.
Yes, exactly.
There's a lot of questionable things going on. I mean, we'll get to the other questionable things that they're doing, but these are adults doing questionable things with and around children because the high schoolers are ostensibly under the age of 18.
Yeah.
Woo!
And from my understanding, from what I gathered, these are not 18-year-olds who just graduated from high school and have gone to the police force. Even Judy says that in her past, she was doing Vice, I believe.
Yes.
for a couple years, and then she moved on. So I mean, they are definitely in their 20s at least.
At least, yes.
At least.
So these are full-blown adults. So I don't know. I just feel like the premise I had a lot of questions on, and I was still super into it. Like I still wanted to know what was going to happen, and I was still very much into these storylines. So I kind of was okay with it.
I agree. Same here, 100%. Let's spoiler alert for the end of the pod. I enjoyed this.
I loved it too.
Really
I loved
into
this.
This. It was good. It was like good after school specials.
Yes. Oh my God.
It was good.
I'm so glad we feel the same way because I enjoyed this so much. I wanted to keep watching it. It was so enjoyable to me. Okay.
I mean, good job, Fox.
All right. Well, I guess let's talk about it then because this is so great.
Yes. So again, the storyline that we want to start with is the case that Harry, whose full name, according to IMDb, is Harry Truman Aoki.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Harry Truman, ladies and gentlemen. And then Judy Hoffs, that they are given is that they, in the high school, apparently that there is known a prostitute, someone who is for hire, going around. And they want to investigate, and their assignment is to get a date and catch her. And they go to the high school. I mean, our first thing, let's start the first thing with Harry, was a scene where they were picking in high school gym for basketball. And, one team captain, they have two team captains, each taking a turn. And Harry is a tall,
full-blown adult,
very muscular, jack dude. And he is not getting picked. He is the very last one to get picked. They do not want to pick him. And I'm going to assume it's because everyone else is white. And he is the singular Asian person in this gym class.
Yeah, this felt very reminiscent of 80s movies and television to me. So were you into John Hughes movies? Like Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles?
I've seen them, but not really.
Okay, so for example, 16 Candles, for a period in time in my life, was one of my favorite movies. It was just like such an enjoyable movie. And as I became an adult, I realized, especially the anti-Asian racism is just like horrific. So I made a lot of parallels between especially a movie like 16 Candles and that anti-Asian racism it wasn't as blatant in this, but definitely the Asian character was treated differently and maybe, again, like not respected to pick for a basketball team and things like this. So I could feel that 80s anti-Asian racist vibe.
And that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up because in 16 Candles, correct me if I'm wrong, it was racism as in they were making the Asian person a stereotypical Asian. They weren't, maybe they're making jokes, but it wasn't, outright racism. It was racism in the way that they were forcing him to be depicted. Yeah. In this show, I applauded them for, they are calling this out. In 1987, they're calling out, anti-Asian sentiments in California. Because, again, this show takes place in L.A. Yeah. So, loved it that they were calling that out. And then they go into a game of basketball where it's shirts versus skins.
Also, where are the teachers? Is this PE class or are they all just like dicking around? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, that just seems, I think there's kids in the other parts of the gym just playing random games of whatever. So it does really seem as if like it's a free period.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You don't have the budget for teachers.
Clearly not. So yeah. So I guess Harry's whole thing here is he's trying to get some intel from the guys about this hooker. And I feel like they kept using the term hooker or prostitute. It was just a lot of kind of some demeaning language towards women. A lot of that in this episode too.
Yeah, but we'll get more into it later. But Harry very quickly learns more about what's going on and who this person is. It's Lauren, who one of the other guys who's the head asshole in this gym class has a date with that night. And so Harry finds out the name, meets up with Judy at the lockers, passes on the name, and Judy instantly is able to find her, which is believable. I mean, in high school, sure. and starts talking to Judy at the library.
Mm-hmm.
And, Lauren has got this really sad story about her parents and how her dad's getting a new job in Connecticut because she's looking at a, housing market magazine for houses in Connecticut, and how her dad's going to take them away and could be great for their mom and all this stuff. And she's very sad, it's a sad sob story, shall we say. And Judy believes it.
Well, and Lauren seems very honest and innocent. And this is just, she's just some girl with a hard family life trying to move. And that's that.
Yeah. And I love calling out good acting. And this was great. I thought it's great acting by this actor who plays Lauren in this episode.
I thought so too. And I was also with Judy, believe women, right? Like if this is the story that this woman is telling, my first instinct is to believe her.
Right.
Like Judy.
Because there's two other high school students, two girls, who come up to her and make some comment about a massage parlor. Are you recruiting someone for your massage parlor?
Yeah, there's also multiple references to people who work in massage parlors being prostitutes, which also feels kind of coded anti-Asian. That's how I read it. Or I don't know. Not great, though.
I didn't pick up on that, but maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. But there's a couple different references to that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's sort of like a red flag to Judy, but Judy's going to believe her.
Yeah, because she has a good comeback for that. Lauren says she had a bad boyfriend who's spreading bad rumors. And Judy's like, I get it.
Yeah, me too. I get that.
It. Yeah.
Believe women.
100%.
Yeah.
We then follow along Lauren on her date with this guy, and his parents aren't home, but he does have a security system, and she sees him key in the security system, and then takes him up to his room, and dun dun dun, sure enough, she is a woman for hire.
I was so disappointed. I was so bummed as soon as she made it very clear that they were going up to his parents' bedroom to have sex, and she took her clothes off. Darn it, Lauren!
I kept waiting for it to turn. I kept waiting for the twist of something else, or he's taking advantage of her or something. But no, she was for hire.
I was so disappointed, and it just bummed me out about the whole premise of the storyline of, I really wanted it to be, hey, no, don't assume women are prostitutes, don't assume women are doing these things, but it was
much more than that.
Yeah, but it does get like more deep. Yeah.
Yes. But it was much more in the criminal aspect. It was much more than that because it appears as if. So the whole reason why she's doing this, why Lauren is doing this, is she is trying to save up money she is trying to move her mom, no dad, out to Connecticut. And she's working with this guy, this very sleazy guy, who apparently used to be her mom's drug dealer.
Yeah.
And so he goes in, the skeezy guy goes in with the codes that she finds, breaks into the houses, steals stuff, and sells it, and then gives her a very measly share of those profits.
Right.
And we see that her mom is unwell. She used to be hooked on drugs.
Drug addict.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I have a couple questions about this scheme. So my first question is she getting paid by the boys she's having sex with also?
I believe so, yes.
Because that's what I couldn't tell. I was like, maybe she's not doing actual prostitution because the boys aren't paying her, but she's getting paid by the guy who she's tipping off. Or maybe it's both. I don't know. Because the boys are seemingly saying, like, how much do I owe you? Or how much money is it going to take? So it does kind of seem like both, which is just like, oh, Lauren, I'm so sad for you. I mean, also, like, if that's what you want to do, that's on you, but it doesn't seem like that's what she wants to be doing. So that's stuff. My other big question is, does every home in this town have the same security system? Because that's, like, the whole purpose of what she's doing seems to be she goes to their house and watches them type in the security code so she can pass that on. So does she just assume every house she enters has a security system like this so she can memorize the number?
Yeah, I mean, all security systems, I believe, have a
But not every house has a... You had a security system growing up, maybe, Varun. But the houses in my neighborhood did not have security systems.
Yeah, so I'm sure that... Well, first off, the house... I'm assuming her clientele, these high school boys that can pay are going to be coming from wealthy
Okay.
families, so they're going to have security systems.
Sure.
But I can imagine a scenario where if they don't have a security system, she would be able to, note that.
Okay,
And then
yeah.
tell Schizo
Yeah.
that there's no security system, so go have fun and break in.
Okay, I guess that's true. So she's just really doing intel on the house in general, and if they have a security system,
Yeah.
finding the number.
Yeah.
Also, why does nobody have parents that are home? I don't know. I just feel like there was a lot of empty homes, but I don't know.
Empty homes
The neighborhood.
is another theme of this show.
Oh my God.
Which we'll get to with the other storyline. And for the record, when we lived in our first house, we did not have security system.
Oh, okay. Excuse me.
So that's because we lived in the middle of nowhere and there was no reason to have
Only when you moved into this dangerous suburban neighborhood that you are now a part of.
Exactly. We had to protect everything.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
Protect our new cable.
Oh my
Did you know that we didn't have cable growing up until... I'm joking.
We talk about this extensively, our lack of cable growing up. Okay, so so the douchebag guy from PE class got to have sex with this poor Lauren girl, I guess. And so this is the next part that really bothers me, Varn. The locker room talk scene where he's just recounting his sexual escapades with the prostitute to all the guys in the locker room. And again, I'm like, this just feels like the start, maybe not the start, just feeding into the rape culture of like locker room talk. Like, we're just going to talk about what we do to women's bodies and it's cool. And I just hated it.
Yeah, no, it's very true. Yes.
Ugh.
TV, movies, all propagated this culture where it's okay to openly talk about this and boast about it.
I know. But again, this is very like 16 Candles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just feel like,
Right.
and not to say this didn't happen in the 90s and the 2000s, but it just felt, again, pretty 80s classic high school scenario.
Yeah.
I hated it. That's the only part I don't like.
I mean, my time in high school locker rooms I was so self-conscious about my body that I was like, I'm getting dressed as fast as I can so I can get the hell out of here as soon as I can. I try to stay a little bit of time as I could in the locker room.
Okay, so it wasn't like your experience is the exact mirror of this locker room experience.
I was not wrapped around in a towel in a steamy locker room.
Also, nobody actually
boasting.
took showers, I feel. I don't know. At least in the girls' locker room, nobody was taking showers, so...
I didn't take a shower. I was, again, in and out. Best
Spray,
I could.
spray the Axe all over you and get out of there. Oh my God. But yeah,
Axe
so
shower.
that was gross. And then of course Harry has to update Judy, and Judy's like, damn.
As she should. It's locker room talk. She was like,
Yeah.
that's locker room talk.
Yep.
You don't know for sure.
I know.
But
But then she finds out for sure.
because Harry asked her out on a date
Yeah.
very smoothly. And again, Lauren was very, played it well.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have a date the next night. And this part was also weird that Harry used a buddy,
So
another
weird.
high school student's empty house.
So bizarre.
Like, so we didn't see him, but we can assume that he asked this friend if he could use his family's house. And his friend was like, sure, I'm going to get my parents out, or we're all going to be out somewhere for a couple hours.
And you can use my house to bring a hooker there and have sex with her in my parents' bedroom. I mean,
Brother's bedroom.
Oh, sorry, brother. Okay, excuse me.
This one was the brother's bedroom, which is also just very weird.
Yeah.
It honestly looked like the brother was a younger brother.
Ugh, God, it's so gross.
Yeah.
But I mean, Harry in reality is an adult and has his own like apartment probably. So it's not like he can just take her back to his adult apartment. He has to pretend he's a child that lives with his family in this mansion with a security system.
True, I guess.
Oh my God. Anyway, this whole part of Harry, is this entrapment? I don't know what entrapment is, but is it not illegal for a cop to trick somebody into doing prostitution and then arresting them for it?
So I have no idea actually. We have any cops
We need
out
to
there.
Google entrapment. Please, somebody inform us about this. Yeah.
But it was also super creepy because, again, you have an adult. This isn't an adult and a normal hooker.
This is a child hooker.
A child hooker. You have an adult trying to...
It's really bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Well, I mean, thankfully he's responsible in his job enough to stop it, but still she's like getting undressed. Like they were making it. I mean, they made out and then she was getting undressed and then thankfully he got the phone call on his duck phone. Did you notice the duck phone?
Yeah, it's a duck phone.
I loved the duck
Which again,
phone.
why I think the brother was younger.
Oh my God, classic. It just felt so gross.
It was very, very gross. But Judy, eyed Lauren, noting down the security code. And so she was the one who rushed to a payphone. And then I forget how she did this, like somehow using the address, got the phone number. I think that's what it used to be like back in the day.
Yeah.
But thankfully she got in time to warn him. So he could then get his headache.
So he had to be warned, like, don't arrest her, basically. Which, again, I thought that was, I don't know what entrapment is, but it feels like tricking somebody into doing that act so you can arrest them feels wrong. I don't know.
I think it's, if you can get them on tape admitting to something,
Okay.
then that's the admitting guilt. That's what they want.
Yeah, okay.
It's
I don't know.
not so much the act, it's more the verbally confirming
Okay.
this
I
exchange.
don't know. Somebody will write to us and tell us. Please DM us. What is actually happening with entrapment? How does that work? I don't know. But yeah, so now they pretty much have confirmed that she's in on, I guess part of it was there was
That's
also
bigger.
a string of
That's bigger,
burglaries.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like this bigger ongoing string of burglaries that they were trying to also crack that case.
Right.
So
Judy wants to talks to the captain, says, I want to do it my way. I think I can get her, talk to her, reason with her.
yeah.
And then they have the scene in the high school parking lot where I guess Judy showed her or told her that she's a cop.
Again,
And
like,
Lauren was
what?
like, I'm not going to tell, not telling like a police officer, not telling, a teacher or administration, or telling everyone else, like,
yes.
hey, this is a police officer right here. Everybody, look at this person. She just admitted to it. No, she is like, I can't believe you said that, did that, and what the hell?
This is what I'm saying. How has it not been exposed? If Judy is just out there willy-nilly telling people she just met, hey, by the way, I'm a cop and I'm trying to help you, girl, you're going to expose yourself.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. And Lauren even was just like, no, I'm good. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
What did you think about her speech on payment? Because she says it's something along the lines of, I'm getting paid for it now, while other women, they pay for it for the rest of their lives through, abuse and all the requirements they have. I forget the whole speech, but so what did you think about that?
I mean, I just feel like this was kind of an 80s version of what a lot of people say now about like sex work is like real work, right? And like if this is your choice and this is how you want to make money, then that's how you want to make money and live your life, right? And so I think that's what she was trying to get at, is just like, I'm gonna, I need to make money somehow. It's gonna be either I've got to marry rich and maybe like have sex with some guy I don't like for the rest of my life, or do it now. I don't know. I mean, in some ways, I felt some sense of this idea of empowerment, of she's kind of making this choice for herself, for her own life. And ostensibly, she's a child. I mean, we don't know exactly how old she is, but 16, 17, right? And so the fact that she's not even an adult, that's more concerning to me.
No, I love this speech if it was coming from an adult.
An adult, yeah.
But since it's coming from a child,
Yeah. And the fact, she's doing all of this because her mom's a drug addict or recovering drug addict, whatever it is. And she wants a better life for her mom. So again, I really did appreciate the sentiment of she's, in theory, making these choices to do with her body, what she wants to do to make money to save her mom. But she's a child.
Ugh. So pretty much how her story then goes to is, Judy tries again with her, soon after the schizo comes to visit her mom, because her mom called him to give her a hit of drugs. And Lauren is pissed, very upset. And Judy seems as if she can save her. She gets the name of the guy who's robbing the houses. And the plan is that, Judy will come back later, take her. Her mom will probably have to go into a hospital or rehab or something, and that Lauren will probably have to go into foster care.
Yeah. The other thing that bothered me is that Judy, I think, was trying to say, hey, if you give me his name, we'll let you go free. But there was no written agreement. The deal didn't seem to be made. And Lauren just basically gave up the name seemingly without anything in return. And I was like, Lauren, don't do this. You have the power to actually go in and make a deal. And I don't know. So I guess at the end of the day, spoiler alert, they catch, what's his name? Eddie or whatever. Is that his name?
Yeah, I think it was Eddie.
So they catch him. So they appreciate Lauren's intel, and nothing good happens for Lauren other than she escapes, I guess.
No, but the good part, what I liked about it though, was that Lauren recognized, and what Judy said at the end was that Lauren was tired of being used by others, used by her mom, used by Eddie, and used by me.
Judy, yeah.
Because that's what Judy was doing. She was going to use her to get to Eddie, and it was going to negatively impact, her life.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess, at the end of the day, I mean, Lauren, again, if she was an adult, feels like a great symbol of empowerment of, I'm going to make these choices for my life and my family and do what's best for us. I just wish she was an adult and, I don't know, had more life experience to make these choices in a more, I don't know, experienced setting.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because what this essentially is child prostitution.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I hope we don't find out really what I mean, she is gone. So hopefully they're starting over and things will go well for Lauren in her new life. I'm just going to hope that.
Hopefully she had enough money saved up.
Yeah.
She did it. That she could, buy a $100,000 house in Connecticut.
I know, my God.
Which was the cost of a mansion.
Oh,
I could not believe that. When her mom saw, she goes, we can't afford that. And I was like, man, oh man, how times have changed.
Well, that's a great segue into the other storyline, Varun, about how money is so different today than it was in the 80s. Oh my God,
yes.
So tell us about the other storyline.
So then our other storyline is we have two high school kids, Jordy and Dylan, I believe his name is.
Yes, Dylan, yeah.
Looks like Dylan is the instigator, the troublemaker, and Jordy is the very influential, good kid. But really, he's a bad kid.
They're both bad, yeah.
They're both bad kids.
Yeah.
And how they're, they witness across the street from Jordy's work, which they were there to rob Jordy and
Steal
Dylan.
Quarters, yep.
Steal quarters, that's right. But then they witness across the street a bank robbery happening at an ATM.
An ATM robbery, yeah.
And they very cleverly, flip the switch of their store's security system, which scares off the ATM burglars, and they go over there and they see, all this money there.
The money's just there.
And it's $50 bills.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Only.
Yes, $50 bills.
Which they then start stuffing into Jordy's jacket.
Yep.
But then the van, the actual burglars, come back, see them and chase them, and they run away.
Yes.
And then they're missing. They're missing now. They're missing children, and that's the case.
The case is the kids have gone missing. Oh my gosh, are they okay? What's happened to them?
Yes.
Did the burglars murder them, kidnap them? Where are the kids?
And the burglars never came back. They never came back. I thought for sure because and early on we keep going back to the kids. Even they're talking about, are they still after us? But no, they're gone.
No, they're gone. So they put Johnny Depp on the case.
Johnny Depp.
So this is the dream team, Doug and Tom.
Yeah.
And so from what I'm gathering, these guys are not in high school. They're not pretending to be in high school because their case is not in the high school.
Not this episode.
Or sometimes they're in the high school.
My assumption is that this episode, they're not in the high school.
Okay.
Which again makes
but
no
wouldn't
sense.
The community
back to the
know?
Whole program about why these two are not showing up to class. Anyway, why they're only popping in, 3 days.
Well, and these guys, spoiler alert, arrest the kids at the end. Aren't the kids like, "Hey, you're in my gym class. Why are you arresting me?" Yeah. What?
No.
So that's never addressed. Anyway, so in this episode, they're not in the high school, but they're investigating the high school kid's disappearance.
Which I don't know why they particularly have to.
I wrote this down. Quote, they said they want to investigate from a different angle.
Oh.
Because traditional cops can't do what we can do. Because we can, like, find out where their friends hang out and what they do for fun. And then we can find them more easily. That was their whole shtick. Sure.
Makes sense.
And the parents are like, oh, yeah, definitely. That makes total. I'll tell you all the things we need to know about my kid. Also, I don't know anything about my kid because I'm an old parent and I don't care about my kids and I just do my job.
And that's the problem, right?
That was real.
When you have two working parents,
I know.
no one's watching the kids.
That was kind of the message. It's like, these are bad parents.
The 80s.
They work too much.
Did not look, highly upon two working parents.
No, they need the stay-at-home mom.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
The mom has to be staying at home.
Yeah, if your mom's not staying at home.
No, it can't be the dad. Of course not.
No. Yeah, your mom better be home watching the kids. Otherwise, this is going to happen. So,
exactly.
Oof, not a great message.
So parents out there, because that's essentially the only way to get by these days, to have two working parents.
Yeah.
Your kids are going to go off and start robbing banks and then go on escapades with the $12,000 in the 15 seconds that they were stuffing $50 bills into Jordy's jacket. They got $12,000.
I had so many questions about the money aspect, right? Because we see Dylan and Jordy, they're out at nice restaurants. They're getting the presidential penthouse suite for multiple nights at a hotel. They're trying to buy a car. They end up buying a motorcycle. They're buying all new clothes. Like, they're buying all this stuff. And at first, we didn't know the dollar amount, but yes, I saw them stuff a couple wads of 50s in their jacket. So it was like, how are they affording this? We do later find out apparently it was 12 grand. But to me, the math was not mathing until I Googled the inflation rate.
Oh, no.
Did you?
I did not. What was it?
Okay, so in my head, I was trying to do the calculations. I'm like, multiple nights in a penthouse suite, restaurant, motorcycle. Like, this is well over $12,000. Okay, so I did Google it, like 1987 to now. So inflation is triple. It's triple the cost. So whatever, it was in 1987, it's now triple the cost. So for example, the motorcycle they bought was only $2,000.
Oh my God.
So, right? Like, when they went to want to buy a car, they were only going to have to put down like $5,000 to buy like a Lexus style car.
BMW is $36,000, I believe.
Yeah,
for the whole car.
But then it's like staying at a hotel was probably only a couple $100s, whereas in my head, I assumed it was like thousands of dollars. So to me, the math wasn't mathing, and then I Googled inflation. I still don't think they would have had that much money left over. I still think it was a little exaggerated with all the money they were spending. But yeah, the inflation, oof.
Yeah, that blows my mind. Thank you for the excellent research.
I really I had so many questions that I had to do some deep diving after this episode.
But yeah, to go back to a simpler time of the 80s where, again, you go buy a motorcycle for $3,000.
Yeah.
That Dylan instantly knew how to ride and instantly knew how to do a wheelie on.
Of course.
I laughed so hard. I had to go back and rewatch it because I laughed so hard when he got on and did a wheelie. This high school student.
Of course.
Or maybe he's not a high school student. Maybe he's like a recent, graduate, maybe. But the fact that got on a motorcycle and then did a wheelie with his buddy on the back.
Oh my God.
Just blew my mind.
I can't.
And they're gonna go get chicks.
Well, that's the thing is they're looking for, I wrote this down too, quote, full-figured women.
Full-figured women.
So they're going to a bar because high school girls aren't going to be good enough. They need to, and I guess they've been able to kind of pay their way to get drinks because they have all this money. So they're bribing people to give them alcohol and stuff. So I don't know. I mean, they seem like they're living their best lives. Dylan is good to go with this new lifestyle. Jordy is a little bit more wary of, like, they're going to run out of money at some point. Maybe we need to go back home. Also, how far away are they from their home?
I don't.
They're like in the same town, right?
Yeah, it seems like they're in the same town.
They're not that far away.
Yeah, this is supposed to be LA. Doesn't look like LA.
Yeah.
When I looked it up, I think this was shot in Canada.
That checks out.
So it definitely looks like Canada. But yeah, I think they're supposed to be in the greater LA, probably metropolitan area.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, eventually they end up at an arcade because they're following some girls, of course.
Yes, of
Because
course.
again, all of these, the object for every guy in this show and everything in the 80s is to have sex with a girl.
Yes.
So that's what they're trying to do at an arcade.
Yeah. And that's where the arcade owner, calls up the police. Our two detectives, our two police officers show up, and the arcade owner had a great line asking, "Hey, isn't there, some reward or something like that?" And they responded with, "Isn't doing a civic duty enough?" And he's like, "I'd rather take the money." I go, "That's
Right?
right. Damn right. I would do the same thing." I'm like,
Yeah.
I just helped you out. These guys have been missing for a long time. Where's the reward?
I agree. She should have gotten some sort of reward.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they catch the kid. Well, only Jordy is at the arcade because Dylan took the other girl on his motorcycle.
Yeah.
And I believe he said I'm taking you back to my hotel.
That was very rapey.
Rapey, yes. You just met this girl and now you're taking her off to your hotel. I didn't love that. So I'm glad I hope that the cops got there before any sexual assault could happen to that high school girl.
Hope so too.
And we don't know how old Dylan is, so I don't know. But it doesn't matter. It's still bad. It's still bad.
It doesn't matter. No, it's very creepy. It started off with ride on the motorcycle to how we go back to my hotel. And
yeah, it's not great.
But they get caught. Jordy, the girl that he was playing whatever this game was at the arcade with, he confesses that he's part of a grand theft and grand larceny, and she's into it. She's
Totally.
so into it, and she goes, "I'll wait for you." And
gross.
Which I think ties into what the eventual theme will be. But next, the two police officers, they go to Jordy's parents' house, and Jordy's dad is all in great spirits, smoking a cigarette, drinking, because I guess that they have TV executives there and movie executives there who all want to take their story and turn it into a movie. And the dad's thinking he's going to make oodles and oodles of money off his son's escapades. But, which I don't know if it's true or not, but Johnny Depp and the other guy tell him that, any money that is made off of
a crime yeah,
goes to the state, which I don't believe that, because there's so many movies and TV shows that are based off of crimes.
They seemed pretty matter of fact when they said it, so I believed them.
Yeah.
And the dad, I think, believed them too, because he was like, "Oh crap, I guess my plan is over." But this was also gross the way they portrayed the parents. The parents really didn't seem that concerned at all the entire time. And even, especially when money started coming up, the parents were more asking about how much money do they have? What's going to happen to that money?
What's going to happen?
Gross, right?
The mom, a little bit more was worried, but the dad... Yeah, the dad does not give two shits about his kid.
No, it was so sad. Well, and then the kids at the end are, I guess, celebrities now, right? They're on the news, and they're like, "Who cares? We just got probation." This classic rich white kids, get off the hook. Now they're celebs. Really, nothing bad's gonna happen to them. Right. Ugh, gross.
Which I think comes back to the whole theme of their story. Again, when it comes to bad influence, it's Dylan was a bad influence on Jordy, sure. But I guess money is just a bad influence on everyone because, when it comes to the waiters and the hotel staff and everyone, they accepted the money, turned a blind eye to two kids doing, running around.
Yeah, they all knew these kids shouldn't be doing this.
The motorcycle seller accepted cash happily to, sell his motorcycle to these kids.
Yeah.
I mean, and in the end too, it's all about how if you have money, it doesn't matter.
Pretty much. Money rules the world, baby.
Especially if you're white.
Especially if you're white. Yeah, and a male. Ideally a white male. You will do fine with money. Yes. Yeah. I honestly, though, appreciate how there was kind of a complete theme to this episode, right? What you're saying, it all ties back together. And it's not as random of storylines as you could see it as. It really, I don't know. I thought this was a pretty well done, even with all the problematic pieces. It's the 80s. There were some elements of racism and sexism and stuff that obviously we wouldn't want to see today. And I felt like the storytelling was actually pretty good.
It was good. Again, as you mentioned, yes, feminism, capitalism, prostitution, drugs, a little bit of racism, a little bit of the movie Blank Check.
Oh, yes.
all in a 45-minute episode.
Yeah, no, I thought they did a really
it was
good job.
good.
I thought it was really good. Again, like pieces are problematic, but entertainment-wise, I loved it.
It was
so
really good.
Oh my God. I actually do want to keep watching.
So do I.
This is maybe the first time where I was genuinely hooked and want to keep watching this show.
Yeah.
So I'm into it. Yeah.
21 Jump Street.
It was great.
Whew. Quick thing, the movie, I did not rewatch the movie in preparation for this episode, but in my IMDb dive, I think a couple of the characters from the TV show appeared in the movie.
Oh, like a callback.
Yeah, so I think like Judy, I think I saw that Judy was in it.
Well, do you know the actress, Holly Robinson Pete?
From Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
I was going to say, she's from Hanging with Mr.
Oh,
Cooper.
yeah.
She was a big 90s actress.
Oh, yeah.
I recognized her immediately.
I think she kind of had a resurgence in the 2010s too.
Oh, really?
Some other, shows.
Okay,
but,
well,
yeah,
definitely Hanging with Mr.
Hanging
Cooper
with
was
Mr. Cooper.
the biggest one. Yeah.
Yep.
Her biggest claim to fame. Yeah.
But yeah, I confirmed that Doug and Judy reappeared in the movie. I didn't see if Harry or Johnny Depp.
I mean, probably not Johnny Depp. He's too big for that now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's exciting. Now I kind of want to go watch the movie.
It's gonna be completely different.
Okay.
It's a comedy.
Yeah.
With lots of antics.
Okay. I mean, I like the people in that movie though too, so I feel like I would enjoy it. But yeah, different. So I would expect a different vibe.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Let's focus on acting quality.
Okay.
Again, our rating system here: A being best acting, F being complete garbage acting. Where would you grade the acting in the show?
So Varun and I never agree, so we're going to see how we do on this one. I'm just going to go B. I thought it was pretty solid. Like, I was entertained. I was into it. Some of the characters did a really good job. I'm going B.
I'm going with a B as well.
Oh my
people.
gosh, this is maybe the first time we've ever agreed on the first try. Because it was so good.
Yeah, it was good acting. Again, I liked Lauren's acting. Thought she did really well. I liked Judy's acting. Everyone all around did a great job.
I thought so too. Okay.
In all honesty, Johnny Depp was my weaker,
Okay.
maybe weakest actor.
Yeah.
Definitely weakest of the four.
Okay.
So.
All
right. So then moving on to my rock rating, which is the representation of color rating, where we judge on the POCs in this show. Now, last week I was on one with ER. I was very liberal with that rating. So I had to recalibrate my rating for 21 Jump Street. So I'm going to say out of 10, this was a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your reasoning?
The reasoning being, we had a mixed cast
Mm-hmm.
of, not only, the captain being black and Judy being black.
Yeah.
A black female, and we had an Asian character as well.
Yeah.
We saw, other POCs in the show too. Not a lot, not a whole lot. But again, for the 80s, having this much depth, talking about racism too as well. Loved it.
Yeah. And the fact that they didn't cast the black and Asian people as stereotypical characters, right? They were just on the same level as everybody else was very different than other 80s things that I already talked about. So yeah.
So
great.
Loved it.
Yeah.
And our final question, did we like it?
Yeah.
Resounding.
It was great.
Resounding, yes.
This is maybe my favorite show that we've watched so far. I really liked it.
And I think this is why I was so excited to do this podcast.
Yeah.
Was for shows like this, to find and discover these little golden nuggets.
Yeah.
That were, never heard of before, but it's just so good.
Yeah. I really just feel like I never really watched 80s TV shows. I mean, growing up mostly in the 90s, I feel like we mostly watched 90s TV shows. At least in my house, we mostly watched 90s TV shows. So my only 80s experiences has mostly been John Hughes movies. So it was kind of nice to just get more experience of the 80s.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, thanks for listening, everyone. Remember to follow us on Spotify or wherever you're listening. And if you're liking what you hear, please rate us 5 stars. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram at The Random Episode Pod. Finally, and most importantly, come back next week for our next random episode.
Bye.